junior, and I got confirmed last year, before my birthday actually. I've grown up in a Catholic home, but when I was younger, we weren't the most dedicated to going to Mass every Sunday. You know, it wasn't the biggest priority for us. Until I started my confirmation process, and some stuff happened that really brought my family closer together, and also brought us closer to our church community. But that's skipping ahead a little bit, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of the journey I'm talking about today. So my first year of confirmation classes, a few weeks in, my 12-year-old brother Kai died. I missed a few classes, and I came back. I just figured I had to deal with it, because that's what would make me better. That by just dealing with it, I could fix my parents' pain and shove back down all the anxiety and depression I thought I had finally got a grip on. I just had to deal with it. I came to my year one retreat broken and lonely. I listened to so many faith talks talking about tragedy, how he lost somebody he really cared about, how she had a really tough life at home, and I related because I was going through a really hard time. And these speakers talked about how these events, while absolutely terrible, really shaped their faith. And so I thought, all right, all I have to do is get through this. Get through my grief and my sadness, and my faith will be solid. But that's not what happened. You don't get through grief and reach some moment when everything is fine again. Grief isn't easy because pain isn't easy, period. I got so angry at everything. I got frustrated and upset that so many people kept telling me, "You're so strong," but never bothered to acknowledge my weakness or what felt like my utter brokenness. I almost wanted to yell at every single person and just scream at them for being confused when I got angry. I wanted to yell, "How dare you? How dare you accept me for who and how dare you expect me to be perfect?" Because I'm not. I was mad a lot, and I cried a lot at first too, until I didn't. Instead, I hit the walls in what was my brother's room until my fist bled, and I punched pads, and isolated myself. I bottled things up and locked them away, and I still do. I didn't feel like anyone deserved to see my emotions, not even God, especially not other people. I was so scared. I was scared that I was losing whatever faith I had. I was scared I was going to be a bad Catholic, and I was scared that even though all these people told me I was going to get through it, that I might not. I was scared I wouldn't ever find my faith. I made life a lot harder for myself by pulling away from all types of community during this time. Humans crave the comfort of other humans, and isolation is nice, but being alone is only comforting for a little while. Yet, when I came to confirmation, and I saw all these people around me who were on the same journey and who believed in the same God as me, I felt a lot more ready to do this. I was lonely, and I found an army in my church family. I knew that these people supported me, and knowing that honestly made my journey a lot more bearable. At the time, I couldn't pinpoint why I felt more at peace during confirmation. I didn't recognize this community that I had around me. Looking back, I see that it was a lot of things. It was God holding my hand even though I couldn't feel it. It was the Eucharist, and it was the people. So with this, whatever it was that I knew that church brought me, I went into year 2 classes. And honestly, at this point, I was just waiting to get confirmed. I still have a mindset that, okay, fine, maybe getting confirmed will fix my faith, right? All of the core team members seem to be super faithful after confirmation. But again, I was wrong. Confirmation is not a moment when the bishop hands you a perfect faith life. It's you accepting the church as your own and receiving the gifts of the Holy Spirit. The gifts of the Holy Spirit are tools, and tools make building a house a lot easier than trying without them. But if you look at the tools and toss them aside, they're useless. We have to utilize these and find and take advantage of the opportunities to grow our faith and build up our homes when we see them. We can find these opportunities in so many different places. We can find them at retreats, on youth nights on Wednesdays, in our communities, in our schools, and so much more. Going ahead a little bit, after I got confirmed, I finally felt like Catholicism was more mine, and not something I believed because of my parents. I finally felt like this challenge of finding my faith was up to me, but I still didn't feel like my faith was where and what I wanted it to be. So I tried to tackle this faith challenge head on through grief and a bad mindset. But my faith didn't come through my grief or through any place that I was looking to check off this faith box. It came through the little things that I learned through that process. It came through my journey and my community. You can go through a heartbreaking event and not find your faith at the end. I wanted to feel like I got something out of what I was going through. But that's not always how it works out. Sometimes it's not a big life-changing event that helps you find God. You don't need to go through a crucible to find your faith. I went through tragedy, I guess, and my faith came out the same as it went in. It was challenged even. I prayed every night when my words felt empty. I went to church, but I was unfocused and distracted. I just wasn't feeling my faith. I was lying to everyone, even myself, about how I was really feeling and what my relationship with God was really like. All of these things were like little monsters running around inside of me and trying to force themselves out. But I'm really stubborn, so I kind of just told myself, Emily, you need to just get over it. I still thought that by getting over it, I would have the faith that I thought I should have. That I would get this epiphany from God one day and just understand everything that I was supposed to understand. Now, I'm not saying any of this to make you feel like finding God is impossible. Sometimes tough times really do help you. Sometimes you have a moment that makes you want to change, makes you want to follow God. But what I'm saying is that this is a journey, and you have to work for that journey, even if you get one of these moments. God gave us the gift of free will. He gave us the gift to choose Him, which means we have to choose Him, not a turning point in our lives. We choose God every single day. Some days it's really, really easy to choose Him, and some days it's not. Don't lose hope that you won't find your faith because you don't feel a click. Faith is like a mustard seed, and sometimes tragedy plants it in us, other times we plant it in ourselves. Mustard seeds are tiny, and they grow into huge plants, but they only grow if you water them. You can't not go to mass or confirmation classes or pray, and then be confused when you don't feel like you're finding God. Again, He's letting us choose Him, so that's what we get to do. Every single person is capable of an amazing relationship with God. You are capable of an amazing relationship with God. I kept waiting for this moment in time, and suddenly my faith just made sense to me. But I didn't get that. My faith came through my confirmation process. It came through the loss of my brother. It came through prayer and going to mass and being at church. Sometimes faith doesn't just sprout up. Sometimes it grows slowly, and you don't realize it has grown until you look back over everything that you've gone through. Many of us will go through hard times, and many of us won't. If we don't, we feel like we might never find our faith because we haven't felt something to test us yet. If we have, we wonder why our faith is still struggling. And that's because faith is a very unique thing, just like each of us. Sometimes, yes, going through tough times does force you to kind of get in shape quickly. But that doesn't mean your faith is necessarily any better than someone who hasn't gone through what you have. It's a journey. It's not a moment. And you will have moments. Moments when everything makes sense to you, when you just understand and you believe in God so fully. But those are moments, and our faith is everlasting. You're not going to perpetually feel like you're in one of those moments. And that doesn't mean that God has left you or that you've left Him. Sometimes these epiphanies, I guess, can last a while, and sometimes they don't. That's okay. God is always with us. We just can't always see that for whatever reason. I hope that none of you have to go through a hard time to love God. I hope that those of you who do will seek solace and support in your church community and in God. But I want to promise that what you go through doesn't always fix your faith, because a lot of the time it's not broken to begin with. We just need to pay more attention to it. Instead of looking for your moment, look for good soil in the people you surround yourself with. Look for water in the mass, and look for sunshine in prayer. Everyone can grow their faith, not just those of us who have lost somebody. I miss my brother a lot. I still get angry a lot. And I still have a lot of problems in my life, but I finally realized that my faith wasn't one of those problems. I didn't need to keep waiting for my faith, because I already had it. I just had to look back over what I'd gotten